From Mamma Mia, welcome to The Spill, your daily pop culture fix. I'm Laura Brodnick.
And I'm Manisha Swarren, still filling in for Emily while she's gallivanting.
She is still gallivanting, but we do have some very... She is still gallivanting, but we do have some big recommendations this week we're very excited to tell people about for Weekend Watch, which is where we talk about the best new movies and TV shows. Although I think this week just TV shows.
Just TV shows.
That
We've
have
had
come
a big
out
week
this
of
week.
TV.
Exactly. Well, we've got movie news coming later on today with our Wuthering Heights brutally honest reviews. That's enough movieing for us for the week.
Yeah, that really took it out of us. That was emotionally quite the
I don't think I've ever seen anyone cry as hard as you cried in that movie.
Oh, there were real tears. And I don't cry often in movies.
Yeah.
I sobbed.
Oh, God. Well, there's a recommendation to go see it, although I think everyone in the world has seen it. But before we get into our new recommendations of shows that have come out this week, I just wanted to take a moment to check in on a fandom that I'm not personally fully a part of, but I know is really going through it this week, and that is the fandom of the TV show Tell Me Lies.
Yes, so it's always so sad when a show that you love comes to an end, and that is the reason. So I've been saving up this latest season of Tell Me Lies to watch. I wanted to wait till all the episodes were out, which has just happened, and then I'm going to lock in this weekend for a proper binge, because I loved season 1 and 2.
Yeah, are you going to be, because it's emotional. Okay, I've watched most of the first season, and I'm very across seasons 2 and 3. I'll just go out on a limb and say, like, it's not the show for me. I have so much TV that I have to watch for work, and then so much of my own personal crazy TV that I don't mention on this podcast.
I love the justification. Like, these are the top 3 reasons I haven't watched Tell Me Lies.
Yeah, but I'm so across it, and I know that this week really rocked the fandom because everyone's been so invested in this new season, and then there was so much build up to the final, and when the final aired, it came out that it wasn't just the season final for season 3, it was the series final, and not even the cast knew about it. So the creator has come out and said that she just felt it was the right time creatively to stop the show. And so if anyone's not across the show, just like a kind of just who they are for context, is that it's set in the late 2000s, which I love all the little touches because I was like, hey, I wore that.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back and forth. There's some time jumping as well.
Some time jumping back and forth, but it chronicles the absolute terrible romance between two college freshmen, Lucy Albright, played by Grace Van Patten, and Stephen DeMarco, played by Jackson White, who are a real-life couple in real life. Some people don't know that.
Do people not? I feel like that is all over my social feeds.
No, I was just telling people in the office the other day, and some of them didn't know. So they met during the audition process. So they were already dating, and I believe the story goes that Grace was already cast, and he was the one they were still looking to cast. And then she was like, oh, we're dating. Is it better or worse if he gets the part? And then he did. And it's been so interesting watching. This is the part of the fandom I'm really invested in, even though I haven't seen all the episodes, is that they come across in real life as such like a fun, healthy, happy couple, because they always do interviews together, they're always traveling together, they're always on red carpets together, and they talk really sweetly about each other, but they play the worst couple on TV.
And we actually did an interview with them, the Ents team here did, and that's on the Spill YouTube channel, so you should check that out and you can see them in action. But on the show, they are very much not that happy, bubbly couple. They are about as toxic as it gets.
Yeah, but people are so invested in this show, even though it's not the typical romance. So it's one of those shows with like so many plot twists, and so many people are invested in the toxicity of their relationship. Like they want them to be together and they don't. And then it kind of, as you're saying, builds with these mysteries over the years. And so the reason we want to talk about it on Weekend Watch is to say that if you haven't watched it, now might be the time to jump in because there's 3 full seasons there. It's come to an end. I was watching an interview with Jackson where he said that he and Grace were at an airport in separate terminals trying to meet up when she found out and then he found out in the same moment that the show wasn't going ahead.
That's crazy. That's like finding out you've been made redundant at the airport.
Well, yeah, exactly. No, that's what he said. He was like, oh, well, I'm out of a job. And then also I put my heart and soul into this TV show for many years and it's been the biggest part of my life and it's over and I guess that's fine. It was giving and just like that when Michael Patrick King and Sarah Jessica Parker both were like, it just naturally felt like an ending for all of us. And then some of the cast, including Kristen Davis, was like, we didn't know it was the end. We thought we were going full steam ahead. She's like, I just launched a podcast to talk about this show.
And you didn't know that it's your last day all on set together as well, which is so sad. But
I didn't even think about that. So they didn't have that moment on set where they're like, that's a series wrap. They just all left being like, hopefully see you soon.
Well, hopefully they have a retrospective, final wrap party. I'm sure they had one anyway. But I think if you like shows that are set in an American collegiate setting, which I personally
you love
that
genre,
I do love that. And then it's a little bit spicy, a little bit sexy. I also think it's one of the shows that shows the personality type of a narcissist really well. Like the intrinsic kind of it's probably quite triggering for anyone who thinks they've
I was
dated a
going to say,
narcissist.
maybe this is one of the reasons I find it a bit hard to watch is like, I'm just like, oh, real life relationships and dating are so messed up, at least for me, not for other people.
Very
and
draining.
it's almost like too triggering to be in that world, but you don't feel like that. You feel okay watching it.
Nah, I feel okay watching it. Maybe because I have like...
You love a brooding, angry man.
I don't think you're going to relate to the exact experiences she goes through. I hope for your sake you haven't been through anything like that. But it is a wild ride. I love sort of how emotional and intense and chaotic it is, and you don't really know where it's going at any point. So, I mean, now's a great time because I can't imagine what it's like watching the seasons without having to wait. You know, you just like lock in and you have all three back to back. Oh my God.
Imagine if you just sat down this weekend and just went through all 3 seasons of Tell Me Lies. I actually don't recommend anyone do that. I feel like that you would have to take a personal day on Monday. Can you imagine going through that much emotional trauma in one weekend? Because the episodes have been dropping weekly, right? So people have had like a bit of a break in between. Yeah.
Well, I think it's honestly worth it just to watch for Tom Ellis in season 2. I'm obsessed with him, aka Lucifer.
Oh my God. Of course I know who that man is. Don't even talk to me about that.
I'm telling the people.
I love that show and I love him in it.
And he's a Nepo husband because his wife is the showrunner and she was like, couldn't think of anyone better for the role.
Well, obviously. I'm so on board with that. If I was married to him, I would put him in everything as well. Yeah. That girl did the right thing.
So yeah, watch it specifically to see Tom Ellis shirtless in season 2, but also because it's a great show.
Yeah, so all 3 seasons are out now on Disney+. If you haven't watched it, we just wanted to bring that up to know that if you're looking for a new show to binge, it's there. And to all of the fandom who are devastated this week because their show has unexpectedly come to an end and they don't feel fulfilled, we hear you, we see you, and it's okay to be sad.
Okay, Laura, so I'm going to tell you about a new show I started watching this week. I'm not sure if it'll be your vibe or not, but I'm going to give you the rundown and see what you think. So I started watching a show called 56 Days on Amazon Prime. It came out on Wednesday. All 8 episodes are out now. It's essentially a mystery erotic thriller type vibe.
No, you had me at erotic thriller. Say no more. That's
all
my
I
genre.
needed to say. So it's based on a book that came out in 2021. It was a best-selling novel by Catherine Ryan Howard of the same name. So yeah, it's very much steamy romance meets grisly murder. So I mean, something for everyone, really. You know, you can watch it with your partner, watch it with whoever. There's something there.
Murder in love. We love it.
Exactly. And so basically at the start, you know that there's a murder, so I'm not giving anything away. And it's called 56 Days because there's a lot of time jumping around, spanning across these 56 days, going back and forth. And basically all the flashback scenes center on this young couple who meet at a supermarket. My dream. They just run into each other at the supermarket and they get talking. And I think the real moral of the story here is that's suspicious when that happens.
Well, here's the thing. So many people say like people just used to meet at the supermarket.
Did they?
Well, I don't know. Ellen Pompey, who plays Meredith Grey in Grey's Anatomy, met her husband at the supermarket.
Yeah, but is that like a Hollywood supermarket where all the Hollywood
it's all hot rich people walking around? No, I know there's supermarkets on the Gold Coast. I don't know if they're in Sydney. I should look into this, where if you put like a certain bunch of bananas or something in your basket, it means that you're single.
It's a sign. I have read about this. Well, I once made quite intense eye contact with someone over the lemons, but it didn't go anywhere.
Oh, that's sad. I think I have heard they're introducing singles nights at grocery stores, and it's not the worst thing that can happen. But the thing is, every time I've seen a movie where people meet in the grocery store, like that movie Fresh, where Sebastian Stan plays a cannibal,
Never or even like
it always ends with a murder.
If you meet a guy at a grocery store who's got a weird fixation with food, I don't know.
I mean, or just still go on a date, but maybe just like let your friends know where you are.
Yeah, I think that's wise. So anyway, they meet at a grocery store. It becomes, I don't want to give anything away, but obvious pretty quickly that no one's who they say they are. There's a lot of mystery going on. There's more than meets the eye. Mm-hmm. And basically the 2 main characters are Dove Cameron. Sorry, I'll take that again. The 2 main characters are Sierra Wise, who's played by Dove Cameron. Mm-hmm. I originally know her from her like Liv and Maddie days on Disney, but I think most people... I
knew she was a Disney kid, but she's done some other stuff than then. She did like some Marvel TV show
Descendants?
acting.
Yeah, I think most people know her from Descendants.
I think she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a few things. Yeah, I definitely know who she is.
Yeah.
She's one of those blonde, you know how there's like that whole group of blonde Disney girls who look like fairies?
Yes,
she
does. Yeah. I was thinking she looks like a pixie or something when I was watching this. And the lead guy, the character's name is Oliver Kennedy, played by Avan Jogia. I mean, he is the epitome of tall, dark, and handsome, in my opinion. Like Batman.
Right.
But I think he's sort of like almost boy next door, but like with a dash of mystery. That's how I describe him.
Okay.
And I famously love quite an intense man.
Oh, you really do.
I
I love an intense man on screen.
Yes.
So I would be into this.
We don't want a lackluster man on screen. He had his breakthrough role in Victorious, but I mostly know him from being engaged to Halsey.
And that is such a good reason for him to be famous. He should be famous for that.
I'm like, do they have a Joker Harley Quinn like off-screen romance? I don't know. I mean, I'm always more into a mystery type show if there is a bit of a sexy element. To me, if it's like a sexless mystery.
Yeah, who wants a sexless mystery?
Yeah,
what am I sticking around for? Wait, are there good sex scenes in this? Not to sound, oh, good. Okay. Not to sound really weird, but like TV has been very devoid of like good and not sex scenes just for the sake of it. Like sex scenes where you're actually so invested in the love story that you're like, yes, I want to see it. Don't show me a hand grasping on a sheet and a door closing.
No,
or pan the camera
She's on
away.
him. He's on her.
Okay,
don't you worry. It's not like 50 Shades level.
Oh, no, that's fine. No one wants that.
There's no clamps, there's no whips. But it's like, they're definitely doing it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, obviously I want to see that, but not the 50 Shades. That was wild to watch. But okay, I love that.
So if you've got that void for sex scenes after Wuthering Heights, looking for something a little spicy to replace it, their chemistry, very hot, very good. I also like when you're in a mystery show and you're sort of getting to know the characters and finding out, you're like, I always think, what would I think is weird about this guy? Like, what would tip me off? For me, a few things with him, he uses cash a lot, which I always think it's sus when someone uses cash a lot. Sorry,
and the movie,
when someone uses cash a lot, because what are you hiding?
And the movie's set in the present day. Where's he been getting cash from?
I know.
Who's
an
accepting
ATM?
that? Yeah. Okay, that's a massive red flag.
You clearly don't want your name on your bank card scene. Yeah. And he also brings up weirdly early, which if a guy did this to me on a date, that he's like, oh, you don't really have like a social media footprint. And I'm like, you can't say that. You can't out that you've just been like looking for someone online. Like, be a better villain.
I love that when you're watching any TV show or movie, your first thought is like, would I date this character in real life?
That's normal.
Is it?
Is it not? No. But I would say this whole, at the moment, I think society is very into like romance, thriller, toxic, sort of tell me lies, that kind of vibe, I would say, is this show. We love sort of a morally messy couple whose lives are intertwined with danger, but they're also like getting it on. It's a whole vibe. So yeah, I think, if you watch Tell Me Lies and you want something else similar, I wouldn't say it's similar in the whole college setting of it, but in the intensity level, it's a very intense sort of drama, potentially anxiety inducing if you are on the dating scene and getting to know new people, because it made me think, well, it just made me think you don't ever really know who someone truly is. Like,
I know, Mon. That's the whole issue. Okay, so I guess don't watch this and Tell Me Lies back to back, or you'll never leave your home. You'll never leave your home, and you'll never date anyone ever again.
Well, this is just a one season, so maybe just start maybe with this, and then I don't know. I haven't actually read the book, but from what I read online, I think it does follow the book relatively closely. So if you have read the book, or if you haven't, I think a good watch either way.
Okay, I'm going to take us in a completely different direction. And there's not really even that many men in this show, which I think after those last two things we've recommended might be the kind of good antidote that we're looking for.
So no sex scenes.
Well, I don't want to completely give it away. It's not focused on sex scenes at all.
Well, we like variety.
Yeah, exactly. This is more of a caper with a bunch of women in their 40s. So it's called How to Get to Heaven from Belfast, and it came out within the last week. All 8 episodes have dropped on Netflix now. So you could binge this and just have a lovely weekend with best friends and murder.
You've got 2 options. Like, which way do you want to go?
Which way do you want to go? Murder and sex, or a group of school friends now in their 40s solving a murder? There's lots of choice.
Can I just say as well, great title.
Oh my God, isn't the title great? How to Get to Heaven from Belfast.
Yes,
and it kind of makes more sense as you watch the show. So the reason this was always on my radar to watch when I first heard it was coming to Netflix, it's from the creator of Derry Girls. Did you ever watch that?
I've seen a little bit of Derry Girls, and okay, great.
Which was an incredibly perfect show if you haven't watched it. It stars Nicola Coughlan, and a bunch of everyone who's on the show is great, but it stars Nicola Coughlan before she got Bridgerton famous, about this group of schoolgirls in Northern Ireland in the mid-90s, and it's just some of the best TV ever. So this is the same creator, so I was like, okay, I'm on board with what she's going to make next. And so this show follows a group of friends who were really close friends growing up all through childhood. They've not really drifted apart, but they've got their own lives of one is married with kids, and one's a screenwriter, and one's they're all living in different places. And they get this call that there was 4 of them who were really good friends all through childhood, and they get this call that Greta, the 4th of them, who they've been a bit estranged from, has passed away. So they all return to their small Irish town to attend her funeral. But once they get there, they realize that her death is actually quite suspicious and something has happened. And they start to think it's linked to this thing that happened to them all. So that goes back and forth from present day to 20 years ago when something happened to them when they were all in this forest shack and they came across this menacing looking man and these satanic symbols, and then they've all gone off to be adults, and then they come back and start to solve this mystery, even though they're like not really good mystery solvers.
Is this like grown up Pretty Little Liars?
Not no.
Okay.
So one thing is like it's got that murder mystery element, which is so good, and it's got that kind of like you keep getting fed more of like what happened to them and who are these people and who can they trust from these people they used to know. But it's also just this beautiful story of these like three best friends who are all grown up now. They've all got their own lives. They come back together and their dynamic is so funny as like they just feel like they have been best friends their entire lives, these actresses who play these characters.
I actually love shows like that because it makes you so nostalgic for your high school friends, and when you catch up now being like, oh, how was that so many years
and there's
ago?
only things you can say to each other. Like when they all go back together, like they're in this rental car, they pick one of their friends up from the airport, like one of their friends has died, but like one of the women just has to like make fun of what her friend is wearing and all that. So they just fall back into these patterns of being like school friends. And then there's this hilarious scene as they're like going to the funeral and they put the wrong petrol in the car, so they break down the middle of the Irish countryside and it's just the dynamic is so funny. And then also, I don't know if you know the Irish girl group Bewitched. They were a huge thing in like the 90s, early 2000s.
Nothing to do with nose twitching.
No,
Not
absolutely not. No. There's so many people screaming it right now. But like that, so that Bewitched isn't in it, but they play one of their most famous songs, C'est la vie. And as soon as that's in the first episode, as soon as that happened, when it's like they're broken down the side of the road, that song starts to play. This hot guy in like a pickup truck comes to save them.
God.
They're talking about solving a murder, but also like having this back and forth. And I was like, this is the show for me. It's everything I wanted it to be.
That sounds ideal. It's sort of like, because you've got the pickup truck, you've got I do know that song actually. I do know who you're talking about now. I'm on board.
And as soon as it came on, it was like this jolt of energy went through me because I was like, oh my God, this show is like not just made for elder millennials, but it's kind of like a little love letter to us while also being accessible for like you could watch it at any age.
So is it more focused on them like trying to figure out the case, or is it more about the comedy and the vibes between the women, or both?
Oh no, both. It's more about them trying to figure out like what happened to their friend and tying it back to this old mystery. But it's the most they've all sort of been together as adult women. So it's also about like their relationship, how they've changed, how they're still really good friends. And just like the script is so good. And it reminds me of Derry Girls in the way it's just like so punchy. It's like quick, back and forth, joke. Like, you know, that sort of like really fast paced moving along. So, and I love anything set in Ireland too. Maybe that's just a me personal thing.
P.S. I love you.
Yeah, okay. Maybe not that, but like all my favorite books are set in Ireland, like all my Rosamund Pilcher and Maeve Binchy books and like all the like shows and movies I love. And I just think this is such a beautiful kind of just love letter also to that space and that time and that like sense of comedy. So yeah, How to Get to Heaven from Belfast. It's out on Netflix now. All 8 episodes came out, so you can binge it, and it's got that good mystery to like kind of keep you going to the end, but you could also just watch it for the gals.
I mean, very mysterious weekend you could have.
Yeah,
to take all these
mysterious weekend. So much murder afoot.